Hey everyone, and welcome back to Swift Guitar Lessons for another lead guitar tutorial. Today I'm very excited to break down 3 very cool, very professional blues licks that I'll be performing with just one finger. As many of you know, I'm dealing with a little bit of a tendonitis trigger finger issue, which is keeping me from being able to use my middle and ring fingers. You can expect a video out soon on how to cope with this particular injury and how to get past it. So these licks, great licks that you can use in the open position and be able to play over a 12-bar blues. Let's get started. Okay, quick demonstration, 3 professional blues licks with just one finger. Lick number 1. Alright, lick number 2, something short. And lick number 3. Alright, let's break those down. Okay, getting started with the first of 3 very cool, very professional blues licks. I got a capo here on the 2nd fret, and that's showing you that when you're playing with these open string style blues licks, you can take this capo, move it from fret to fret to change the key. Okay, so lick number 1, real slow again, it's gonna sound like this. We're gonna break that up into 3 different parts. Part number 1. That was me sliding on the 3rd fret B string, relative to the capo, up to the 5th fret, as I strike the high E string open. Okay, so an open string there, along with that slide. Then you're gonna pluck the high E string, and pull off the 3rd fret B string, to the open string. That gets you to the 2nd part of this lick. A slide from 2 to 3 on the G string, back to 2, pull off, D string 2nd fret, hammer, open D, 2nd fret, A string, for that 2nd part there. Real slow again. Alright, you put that together with part number 1. Alright, great way to get to the B chord. But we're going to continue on as if we're going back to the E chord. That gets us to part number 3. But first let's play those 2 parts together with a bit more fluidity. Alright, then finally, a la Stevie Ray Vaughan. 0-1-0, hammering and pulling. 3 on the low E string, open A, back to 3 on the low E, with a bit of a bend, and the low E string, maybe followed by the high E string. Like that. Alright, part number 1 again. 2, 3. To complete that lick. Maybe I'll end it with a trill. 2nd fret, D string. Hammering and pulling. Maybe just a hammer and hold. Anything sounds good with this. Okay, now let's get into lick number 2. Okay, lick number 2 is very short, but very stylish. Sounds like this. Okay, so I'm taking my pointer finger, sliding it up from 2 to 4 on the G string. Then I'll hit the high E string open with my middle finger on my picking hand. So, then I'll slide back and pull off. So slide up, high E string, pull back and pull off. Then go to the root, the D string 2nd fret relative to the capo. That's a great lick in itself. Alright, sounds awesome with that low E string behind it. Then I'm gonna go to a hammer on that G string, the major 3rd. Alright, I hammered onto the 1st fret from the open string. Then the high E string open. Sounds fantastic. Now keep in mind that you can slide, then hit the high E string like I did before, or slide and play them both at the same time. Anytime you're doing that little kind of slide trick, you can hit the high string even when you're sliding back. Actually, that high string sounds great over any note inside the E blues scale, okay? Actually, in this particular key, we're actually playing in the key of F sharp because of the capo, but you know what I mean. You can take the capo off and you're back in the key of A. This is what I call E position. So there I'm ending it with the high E string. You can end it with the low E string. Alright, and if I had my middle finger, I might go back to that 2nd fret D string there too for another option. So you see, these licks are very malleable. You can change them around. You can add a little bit of yourself to each of them. Okay, now moving on to our 3rd and final lick. This one's very impressive sounding because it has a lot of notes right out the gate. Alright, so it's going to sound like this. Full speed. One more time. I'm using some hybrid picking, FYI. Alright, real slow now. Alright, not so complicated when you slow it down. So I'm taking my pointer finger, though if I had the option I might use my ring finger here. Then I'm going to bend up on the high E string, 3rd fret. The open E string, followed by another pull on the 3rd fret, B string to the open string. That's the first thing that you want to get down. That note right there that you're bending up on the high E string, consider using your middle finger and really pulling on that string. So that way it sounds like it's popping. Alright. Then we're going to take our pointer finger and slide from 2 to 3 and back to 2 on the G string. One more time. Then I'll pull off to the open string. Okay, if you're going to the 1 chord there, then you want to go to that 2nd fret D string, okay? In this case, relative to the capo. But let's say the 4 chord came in. I could go to that 2nd fret G, okay, for the 4 chord. Now let's say the 5 chord came in, alright? You can find a 5, alright, a 5th scale interval on the 4th fret relative to the capo. Alright, you hear the difference? Okay, so for the 1, we're going to slide to and hammer to that 2nd fret D string. Okay, that's the resolve. 2nd fret G string for the 4, and sliding up to the 5. See if you can do this for all the licks that I showed you today. Adjust the tail end to lead into the chord that is present in your chord progression. So, whenever I go into like a recording session or something like that, I'm always looking at the chord sheet to kind of come up with an idea of how my licks are going to flow. Because it's all about transitioning from chord to chord and making sure that the notes that you're playing in your solo and in your licks are corresponding somewhat to the notes that are inside those chords. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed these licks. 3 very professional licks that I played with 1 finger that you sure as hell can play with 4 working fingers. Alright everyone, thanks so much for checking out this lesson on 3 bluesy licks with just 1 finger. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much to my patrons at patreon.com/swiftlessons for all your support, especially while I cope with this injury. I got many more videos coming up, so keep checking back. Please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.